Hey everyone, this is my brother Michael.
My brother Adam.
We're the Scharff Brothers.
You're listening to Mentoring for the Modern Musician.
Hey everyone.
Hey everyone.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to another episode of Mentoring for the Modern Musician.
Hope you guys are doing well.
It's summertime.
It's summertime where we are.
We were just talking that there's
I don't know where you guys are.
usually in our building, there's a lot of artists that are here all the time. You look out the parking lot right now.
Plenty of parking.
Yours and my car.
That's just the two of us.
Just the two of us on a beautiful sunny day.
Exactly. Inside.
Exactly.
What's it
Why
like?
is that? Why is that?
Why is it that we're the only ones here? Oh, right.
We love what we do.
Because we love what we do. And many, many moons ago, we decided to be musicians.
Yes, we did.
And that was going to lead us on
an
interesting path.
That means that we're going to be working.
Yeah.
When other people are at the beach.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Doesn't it? Right? That means that
we have a beautiful studio tan. It's a lovely studio tan you've got there, Michael.
It is. I'm glowing. I'm glowing.
But we dig what we do.
Absolutely.
Right? And
we love it.
And in order to be able to do that,
yeah,
you got to do that.
Yeah. And so that sort of is leading to what we want to talk about today.
Right, which is, so you want to be a musician?
Do you really?
Do you though?
I mean, I know you love playing music.
Yes.
I know you love music.
And look, every artist we've ever worked with in person to do artist development.
Yeah.
The first thing, and years ago, you used to think I was a jerk for doing this.
I know.
But I came from a loving place.
It did. And we do it slightly differently now.
Yes, we do it much differently now.
Right.
I started by trying to talk them out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, no, you don't.
Right.
You
really?
don't.
Nah.
Nah.
You don't. Nah, you don't want to go to. Right. You don't want to go to Berkeley. You don't want to go to Juilliard. You don't want to go to.
And not to be mean and not to tell them that they're not good because there's crazy talented humans that we're talking to.
Right.
But just to go, do you though?
Right.
Is this really what you want? Because it's not just, hey, I'm going to play my little guitar, sing my little songs, play my little piano.
Right.
End up, working maybe 70 dates every couple of years.
Right.
Making a couple bajillion dollars.
Exactly.
Fly around a private jet.
I'm going to work 40 hours a week and
do whatever I want. Well,
right.
I don't know. Get crazy. Work 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
You know.
That's why
might as well just get a job. And it's more than that. So you want to. So in a loving way, we try to help artists understand. All right.
What's the reality?
Here are some of the realities of the people that you love, the successful musicians that you admire. Here's a little bit of what their schedule might look like.
Exactly.
You know?
Right. And nobody jumps from relative obscurity to Bruno Mars.
No. Nope.
Right?
It does not happen that way.
Right. We don't have to pick Bruno Mars because he's been on stage since he was 4. So we could pick, you could pick John Mayer.
Right.
Right. You could pick fill in your favorite artist.
Who? Yeah. What? It doesn't matter. Katy Perry.
Right. J Balvin.
Shakira.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
There is a process. There's a process that happens that involves lots and lots and lots of work.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is in the artistic world, it used to be in the classical world. Right? There was this expectation that you were going to spend years and years and years in the trenches being beaten up. And think of ballet dancers' feet.
Right.
Right? Where they're taped up and bloody.
Sure.
And that was expected. That was sort of part of the ethos is I'm going to work like crazy.
Right.
And at some point in the music world, somebody saw a documentary somewhere.
I don't know what
somebody was
happened.
late. I don't know what it was. But because if you find out what the Beatles did,
oh my God,
it's exhausting.
It's exhausting. All of it. If you think of what the Beatles did, what Muddy Waters did,
anybody.
I mean, Robert Johnson. Let's not even. We go back.
Right. Anybody whose name you know,
they worked and worked and worked and
so hard
all the time.
Now there's a lot of joy to be had doing something you love.
Well, yeah. So it doesn't feel like work.
That's why to do it.
That's why you want to do it.
Right.
Right. And some of this show was inspired by a friend of ours who works for WME.
Yes.
Skylar sent me this great article.
Oh, right.
That's on musicbusinessworldwide.com.
Okay.
And it's
right.
And it's that article that is with an interview with Michael Cairn, who's with the Artist Publishing Group.
But he's been
APG. But he's done everything.
He's an industry veteran whose name lots of people would know.
It's worth reading the article.
Yes.
But the title of the article is, "For Artists, Work Ethic and Intelligence are just as important as talent."
Amen.
Right? Now, this is something that you especially have been preaching for decades.
Ever.
Literally.
Forever.
Yeah. And it is true and true and true.
Yes.
Right? It is, and it folds into everything that we've been talking about, particularly in this last year.
Well, and everything that all the people that we've had on the show have talked about.
Yes.
We're always joking about, don't be a dick.
Right.
Well, that's the point.
But that's the industry standard.
The industry standard is now. You can't just be a dick.
No.
They're not. You can't just. Oh, but he's wicked talented and sells a lot of records.
Well, right.
So he's no,
because nobody sells records.
right. So what does it mean? It means your work ethic has to be incredibly. Ed Sheeran. Oh, Ed Sheeran. Right. You try to do Ed Sheeran's schedule.
Just read Ed Sheeran's schedule, and I
Right?
get tired.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he does it wonderfully because he loves it.
That's what he loves.
And he's crazy talented.
Right.
So talent's great. Talent's
a must.
a really important
It's
part
a
of
must,
it, right?
It's a must. You have to be
Yes.
talented, right? But if you take two artists, one who's crazy talented and doesn't work that hard, or infrequently
Yes.
works hard,
Fits and spurts.
right? Exactly.
Yes.
And then you take the other artists who might not be quite as talented, but they are incredibly smart,
Yep.
and personable, and a good hang, and
Hardworking.
incredibly hardworking.
And stable and steady.
That's the artist that's going to get picked up.
Right.
That's the artist that's going to get a manager interested.
Yes.
That's the artist that's going to get. And here's one of the
That's
reasons
the artist
why.
that's going to be able to sustain a fan base.
That's one that's going to be able to sustain a fan base. You bet.
Because a fan base is everything.
Everything now.
Because if we're looking at the paradigm where you need multiple revenue streams, you can't
Right.
just go, I'm going to sell 1 million records. I'm going to sell 100 million records like Def Leppard. Okay.
Right.
No, you're not.
No, you won't.
But even if you did, in the world we are today, well, because you're not going to sell 100
not
million
gonna
records. It's not going to happen. But if you had that kind of sort of success where your videos are seen a lot and you're on
Right.
the cover of magazines and everything, now that you don't sell records like that, you need to be able to sustain a fan base.
You need people at your shows.
You need people at your shows.
You need the super fan who's going to buy all your merch.
all your merch, all the coffee mugs and the T-shirts and the
Everything that you can possibly.
cozies that go
Right.
around your dog bowl and
And you mentioned the multiple revenue streams, and that's so important. And don't forget, if you're out there and you are an emerging or an aspiring artist, you already have multiple revenue streams.
yes,
Right?
right. You got at
that
least-
day gig,
at least one day gig,
right? If you're a waiter, like that's one of your revenue streams.
Exactly. If
Right.
you're a temp,
Right.
right, and you're doing that during the day and then you know you can always be out by 5 and make it to your gig.
Right. If you give lessons,
If you give lessons,
right? If you're in a cover,
if
you
you're
play
in
cover
yes,
gigs,
you're doing cover gigs. Exactly. These
Those-
are multiple revenue streams.
and those are just going to be replaced the more successful
Yes.
you get.
So-
They're not going to be gone.
no, the fallacy is, and I remember us thinking about
Always.
is at some point,
I could just,
someone,
write my songs.
yeah, someone takes over this part
Yeah,
of the
no.
drudgery of my
Right.
career, and I just get to write songs.
Right.
No. No.
No.
If
And
you do get to write songs, great.
That's
and that's
phenomenal.
part of your living. Wonderful. And that will be part of your living, and performing will be part of your living, and recording will be part of your living, and
co-writing,
Co-writing,
and being on someone's podcast, or being on someone's YouTube channel, or starting your own YouTube channel.
doing cameos in movies and TV shows,
Right. And that's if you're super successful.
right.
And if you're not, then you're still doing lessons when you get off the road.
That's right.
Or you're giving motivational speeches when you're
That's
in
exactly
the town
right.
that you're in, or you're writing a book,
Absolutely.
an ebook about how to be, a really great, side guy.
Yeah, you know who I'm thinking of when you're talking that way?
Rich Redmond.
Rich Redmond.
Absolutely.
Right? And if you guys don't go back and listen to our podcast with Rich Redmond, go check out richredmond.com. He's an amazing example of
You do it all.
do it all and do multiple revenue streams, and you can be happy while you're doing it.
Right. And,
but doing it all, don't confuse that with having it all.
Right.
And we've done
point.
We did a show about that, didn't we?
We did.
I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah, you can't have it all.
Don't confuse that with having it all. That is something that is a line that people have been fed that is not true.
Yeah.
You cannot have it all. That's okay.
Not all at once, at least.
Not all at once. You can have a lot.
Yeah.
And you can have all the stuff that you want if you're willing to work for it and you're talented.
Well, and we should interject. Our podcast, Mentoring for the Modern Musician, is musician-centric.
Yes.
Artist-centric.
Yes.
But this is true for any business owner.
Yeah, any artist, an actor, a comedian.
Well, and you can go outside the arts, right? And and remember that if you are going to work for yourself, if you're going to not work for yourself, you're going to be a successful CEO.
Yeah.
You want to be a successful attorney, a successful surgeon, a successful, right? That all of these things are going to be the same. You are going to have to work that hard.
Yes. And
you are not going to get to do, 40 hours a week.
No.
Go to your kid's softball game.
No. Not and have the kind of success that you keep saying that you want.
Exactly.
And I'm acting like you've already talked to me about this, you the listener. But if you're anything like the rest of us, I get it. I know what you want.
Right.
I know what you want. And don't lie to yourself or pretend about it and downplay it because it's embarrassing to talk about.
Right.
The last thing you want to do is downplay it.
Right.
If you want to be on the cover of Rolling Stone, and my hand is up at the ceiling now.
Yeah.
And that's,
that's
at
a goal.
the VMAs, and that's a goal. That
Right.
kind of success is what you want. Then that's what you're shooting for.
Right.
Don't lie to yourself and go, oh, but it'll be cool if I could do some, shows and make a living. If I could just make a living off my music.
Because some money
would
be nice.
Right. No, say what it is you want. Picture what it is you want.
Yeah.
That's an important part rather of you getting a vision of where you're going.
Right. And understand and be realistic about what that means.
Yes.
What it takes.
Yes.
And, I know we've been harping on this a lot the last, especially 3 or 4 episodes. But this is so important.
Yeah.
That when you make that flip.
Yes.
And you realize, okay, if this is who I am, I got to do this.
Yes.
This is it.
Yes.
This is my dharma.
Yes.
Right? This is
my thing, man. This is my jam.
Know all that it takes.
Right.
To then go into it so that you can be successful.
And being prepared for what's coming is important.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you already know everything and you've figured everything out and you have all the information and you don't have to pivot.
You probably never will.
You never will. But having a little bit of going at it with eyes wide open.
Yeah.
Rather than with blinders on.
Right.
And with a child's mentality.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't go into it with a little kid. That's a fun fantasy part. And
sure.
like we've talked about on other podcasts, that's the beginning. Fantasy is the beginning, and there's a whole series of what happens there. But when you start getting into goals and planning, you have some reality that is there.
Yes.
That's not bad and doesn't have to be scary and doesn't have to be unhappy.
Right.
Shouldn't be unhappy.
Right.
Shouldn't be drudgery.
Yes.
But it is work.
Exactly.
And if you're going to do that, you want to deal with a little bit of, okay, so here are some things that happen.
Yeah.
Right? Touring means I'm away from home.
Right.
Whatever that means.
That's right.
Right? That means I'll be driving or I'll be being driven if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
I'll be flying maybe if I'm really lucky.
Really lucky. You're going to be in a bus.
Be on a bus.
If you're super lucky.
Right? But while you're doing that, the old paradigm was like, you just sit on the bus.
Right.
Just catch up on your reading.
Right.
Now it's probably more like you want to be keeping up on your social media.
Right.
And, listening to podcasts and watching the documentaries and the movies that you need to catch up on.
There will probably be some reading involved too.
Sure.
And some gaming for some of you. And, and watching some, binging some Netflix. Because you want to be up on pop culture and you want to be inspired.
And you need to have a life so that you have something to write about.
Exactly. So so it doesn't mean that it's 24/7.
Right.
Right. But it does mean that that's right at the surface all the time,
Yeah.
right?
And part of
So
that
that if
is
somebody asks you to go on the road, your answer is yes.
yes. Because, and I can't remember when we first started talking about this, was you need to be famished.
Yeah.
Was it Lindsay?
So it's good to be. Yeah, I think it was.
I think it was Lindsay
Rush.
Rush.
So it's good to be hungry.
Yeah.
Right. But the people that really make it
Are famished.
are the ones that are famished.
They have to have this.
Gotta have it.
And that's who you're. I don't want to always set it up like it's a race or like it's a game.
No, but that's
where somebody wins and somebody loses.
But that's who the competition is,
Yeah, and the competition doesn't have to be bad. The competition can be your friends.
and it can be incredibly communal.
Yes.
And you want, other people's success should be seen as your success.
Yes.
If you had
have
anything to do
right,
with it.
Right. It
There's
doesn't mean
plenty
a limited
to go around.
Yes. Doesn't mean a limited amount mentality.
Exactly.
But
Just because they're successful doesn't mean you won't be.
people who are driven
Mm-hmm.
don't want people around who aren't driven.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. And it's just that phrase, right? Don't bring me down, man.
Exactly.
Right? Don't harsh my mellow.
I can't remember who it was, but I saw a meme the other day that said you can literally fuck up your entire life by hanging out with people without any goals.
Oh, amen.
Right?
Amen.
And that's the thing. It does matter who you surround yourself
It
with.
does.
It matters who you surround yourself with. It matters what you do with your days. It matters what your mental outlook is.
Yes.
It matters what you say and what you do. All of that stuff matters.
All of it.
And we want you guys to be in a position to succeed,
Yes.
right?
Succeed with some optimism and
Yeah.
some joy,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And loving every minute of it.
Totally. But that doesn't mean that we're going to lie to you.
Right.
I don't have that in me.
No. Well, and optimism and joy, that doesn't mean that like it's not going to be sunshine. It's not all going to be sunshine and rainbows,
And
right?
rainbows and
butterflies. And
No,
right?
no, exactly.
No. But it's there. That's why we're honest about the hard work
yes.
portion of it.
And so,
But you can flip that hard work.
yes.
You can flip that idea
Yes.
into just, what do I get to do today
Yeah.
to help my career?
How about this? You know what I can guarantee you?
Tell me.
It's not going to be boring.
Right. Yes.
If you're doing
Right.
it right,
Yeah.
it will not be boring. And there will certainly, if you're somebody who likes to have something to do,
A career in music is for you.
a career in music is for you. There's always something to do. So
Literally, there's always something to do.
So being famished,
Yeah.
that's something to remember. The multiple revenue streams, I love the way you put that you're already doing.
You're already doing it. You're already doing it.
So just don't think about that
Right. And
disappearing.
even if that multiple revenue stream is, you're borrowing money.
Right.
Right.
Then instead of borrowing money, you'll be earning money in some other way.
Right.
There's always going to be something. All right. So another part that's important, and I know we've talked about this before in different podcasts, but trusting your gut.
Absolutely.
And I mean, we've been reading about that. I remember the first time I heard an industry person talk about that was the first time I read Everything You Need to Know About the Music Industry.
Oh, right.
Donald Passman.
Right.
The book about where he talks about the
He
belly
calls it
test.
the belly test.
Or the
Right,
tummy
the
test,
tum-
maybe. Tummy
belly-
test or belly test. He's
Belly
been,
check, something like
he's
that.
been everybody's lawyer. He's like one of the industry's most renowned lawyers. Who's a brilliant dude. And one of the things he tells his clients is, you got to make sure it feels right in your gut, man.
Right.
Because that really is how you know.
That matters.
That matters. It doesn't mean that facts don't matter and there's not a real thing and there isn't science.
Right.
And that's not what we're talking about. We're
Right.
talking about how you feel about what you are doing,
Yeah.
who you're working with, what this next tour, the direction of the album, the song you just wrote, buying that new guitar.
Like if it makes you sad
Right.
or it makes you feel
That's bad. Okay.
anxious
If it makes you feel anxious, okay, that's bad.
or if it makes you feel like, that's not really me.
But knowing the difference between being scared
Right.
and nervous excitement energy.
Yes.
That-
Or being lazy.
Yeah. Look,
right?
Let me give you an example of being lazy.
Oh, I love. I don't even know what he's going to say, and I'm loving it.
Wake up first
Yes.
thing in the morning. Your
Yes.
alarm's going off.
Yeah.
Your eyes shoot open.
Yeah.
This is personal experience. First
why I
thing
was
you
looking forward
think.
to it.
First thing you think is, look, I know I'm supposed to work out, but I was going to work out when I got. I don't. You know what? I work out all the time. I don't need to work out today.
I mean, I could take a day off.
Take a day off. I work out a lot.
All right.
Okay.
You know, I work out so much more than most people.
Here is how you win with that. You shut off your alarm. You get out of bed. You throw on your workout sneakers,
Right.
wearing the exercise clothes you went to bed in,
Right.
and you go downstairs, and as quickly as you can, start your workout.
Right.
Because then before you're even awake,
Right.
you won. You're
Yeah.
like, hey, look at that.
Exactly.
Got that behind me. All right, now what's
Exactly.
next? Right? It's not about expecting that I'm going to wake up in the morning and not have that battle anymore.
Right.
For years and years, I expected at some point I wouldn't have that battle with myself anymore.
Right. That would go away. Like
And-
that's gonna
and
disappear.
That part, for me anyway, has not disappeared. What I've learned to do is I've learned to work around it.
Right.
So now I just know that that's how I am. I
Right.
don't listen to my head. I don't let myself win. That negative part of me win.
Exactly. And so finding your version of that
Yes.
as an artist is so important.
Yeah.
So this story isn't about a musician, it's about an author
Okay.
that I went and saw, a woman named Kate DiCamillo, who wrote Because of Winn-Dixie and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
And she talked about, she got a great question from the audience about, how often do you write? And do you make yourself write when you're not inspired? And like, what's your process? What's your process?
What is your process? What kind of
Right?
tea is
And
your
she was
process?
great. She talked so down to earth about that she's tried a bunch of different things. And she knows, that there are many people who write 8 hours a day, every day, scheduled in. There are some friends of hers that will write furiously 20 hours a day for 6 weeks to complete their book.
Yes.
And they do that once a year.
Right.
Right? And the rest of the time they're thinking about it, right? But hers is, she talked about, she had everybody raise their hand, any writers in the audience. How many of you are writers? A bunch of people raise their hand. How many of you have that voice in your head that says, you're a fraud.
You're a fraud.
You're not really a writer.
Exactly.
You don't deserve this. You're not special.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to
Exactly.
listen to what you have to say.
Imposter syndrome.
Exactly. So what she said was she discovered that voice for her doesn't wake up until about 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. So she gets up every day
Oh my God, I love that.
at 6 o'clock and starts to write.
Oh
And writes for 3 or 4 hours
Before the voice
before
gets
the
up.
voice wakes up.
Oh my God, I love that
And
so
that's
much.
what works for her.
I love that so much.
Right? And so does that mean that should be everybody? No. So
No, but-
should
but-
everybody roll out of bed and exercise?
No.
Like you do.
No.
Right?
But what's funny is I love that that's that same way
It's the
of
same
dealing with
thing.
it. It's not acting like that voice is going to go away.
It isn't going to go away, and you can't tame it, and you're not going to conquer it.
So what do?
You figure a workaround,
Yeah. Mine is like, look, I got bullied in school too.
right?
And what I did is I learned how to work around it.
Right.
Yeah, well, I'm still going this way. I'm not
Exactly.
you can only
Right.
beat me up so many times, right? And work around it. And that one
Right.
works for me. And I
Yeah.
love her idea that she just gets up before the voice.
Gets up before the voice.
So the other thing I want
Mm-hmm.
that I think is cool for people to take away from that is it's not only is it not rare to have that voice in your head that tells you
It's
you're an
rare
imposter.
if you don't.
It's I
don't know. I have never met.
I don't know any artists personally
Yeah.
who don't have that voice sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
And
you
then you've
just do.
also got the other one that goes,
Oh, that thinks you're better than
it's a
everything ever
masterpiece, man.
made.
I'm amazing. Ooh, amazing. Best thing ever.
If people just,
Fine.
if the world could just hear it,
Whatever it takes,
they would
man.
fall to their knees.
It's about having the balance of both of those.
Exactly.
And those are both of
Well,
things
and
that you're dealing with. And
and you need some of the audacity
yeah.
of I'm the best thing ever.
Yeah. Well, yes. Being delusional
Yeah.
about your own greatness.
Because otherwise you wouldn't do it.
Right.
You wouldn't get up in front of people and play.
Right. And look, there's going to be plenty of people trying to bring you down.
Right.
Right. So
Exactly.
don't worry about you needing to do that. That'll get done for you.
Exactly.
So that also goes into one of the other things that we did want to talk about was knowing your lane.
Yeah.
Right. And that's part of knowing your lane is understanding what your demons sound like
For sure.
in your head and how to work around them.
Yeah. Well, and again, knowing your lane doesn't narrow your focus.
No.
It is literally...
And it doesn't mean you don't experiment with other things.
It doesn't ever mean that. You have to experiment.
Yes.
You have to continue to experiment.
Continue to grow.
To find where's my lane expand to now?
Yeah.
Right? Where's the off-ramp?
But knowing what it feels like when you're in your lane
Yeah.
so that you can do more of that.
Right. That's the gut check thing.
It's the gut check
Right.
thing.
That's right.
Again, going back to our podcast from last week, same.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly. What's truth? Truth.
What's things that will help you grow in any way are going to help you grow musically.
Absolutely.
Right? What helps plants grow?
Yeah. Exactly.
Sunlight and nourishment.
Exactly. And just a great example about staying in your lane, right? If you think about all of the guesting that's going on singles right now,
Right.
right? That they don't always include one urban artist on another urban artist. Like it's an urban artist with a pop artist
Right.
singing the hook.
So it doesn't mean don't expand and go into
Right.
somebody else's lane,
Right.
but the experience will feel right. The opportunity will feel right.
Right.
So yes,
It'll feel like you.
are you going to do an urban take on a country song? Do like an Old Town Road? I don't know. It seems kind of weird. I don't know if that will catch on, really.
Yeah.
Or if it will be 16 weeks #1 on the Billboard charts or whatever.
Exactly.
However long it's been.
Exactly.
Right? And everybody said it was a bad idea.
Right. And does that mean that he should do another country?
I think it means he should do whatever his gut tells him to do
Exactly.
because that was
Thank
a
you.
brilliant idea.
Absolutely.
So Lil Nas?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love that tune.
Oh yeah, it's great. I especially like the remix with Billy Ray Cyrus on it.
Oh, yeah.
To me, I'm just like,
Absolutely. Love that Billy Ray is doing it.
anytime you can get Mullet Man on there, it's
Right.
it's a good thing.
And I'm sure he'll appreciate you calling him Mullet Man.
Well, I think he is. That's how I'll always think of him.
That's how Michael will always think of him. Mullet Man.
I just he wants his mullet back.
I will think of him as Miley Cyrus's dad, which I think he would also like.
I think he would
because
also.
she's a very talented young lady.
Oh,
So there you go. Right.
yeah.
So to recap: be famished.
Yes.
Right. Make sure you're not just hungry, but you're famished.
Multi-revenue streams.
Multiple revenue streams.
Yeah.
I know you got them going on right now. You're going to keep that going. It'll just be different ones, hopefully, that you like even more.
Yeah. Learn how to trust your gut.
Yeah. And know what that feels like to trust your gut.
Yeah.
Right?
And that doesn't mean that you bullshit yourself. It literally means that you get to a place where you're like, nope, this is the place where there's no uncomfortability with this decision.
This feels right. This feels wrong.
There is no uncomfortability with this decision.
Exactly right. Know your lane.
Yeah. Yeah.
And stay in that lane. And that doesn't mean that it won't include other people's
While
lanes as well.
expanding it.
Expand it as well. But know your lane. Know your talents then.
Yeah.
Know what you're good at and what you're not good at. And remember that, and this isn't just us, this is according to Michael Caron,
Exactly.
work ethic and intelligence are as important as talent in this modern music industry.
Yeah. And when you find you've got two people of equal talent, the one that works harder,
They're going to win.
they're going to win.
It's not. I mean, it's not rocket science. I mean, it pretty makes sense. I guess
Yeah.
if that person works harder, they're going to win. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
That's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen, and it's true in this industry, and it's true in other industries.
Exactly. And you're allowed to have fun while all of this is going on.
We encourage it. That's the whole point. Is so that you will have fun.
Exactly.
That's why we're doing this.
Because you're not. It's sort of in a clueless place where you don't know what to do.
Right. And
You
you're
got
not,
ideas.
And you're not in fantasy world.
No.
Right.
No, but it's not drudgery. Just because you're not in
No.
fantasy world doesn't mean it's drudgery.
Nope.
And you know that next week there'll be another podcast. And we'll tell you some other thing that you're like, all right, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
And you gotta
Yeah.
love it, you guys.
You gotta love it. Yeah. If you don't love it, find what you do love.
Yeah, exactly.
That you will work hard at.
Yeah. And remember, you got this.
We got your back.